Hi, I'm Gavin Glicksman. Joining me today at Sun HQ is Olympic bronze medalist Anthony Ogogo. Anthony, thanks for coming in, mate.
Thanks for having me.
How you feeling?
Yeah, well, very well, thank you. I'm enjoying life. I'm kind of doing a little bit of training again now, getting back into it. So yeah, I'm good.
I was going to say the dust has settled now from the Olympics. Looking back, is it still such an amazing achievement just to remember it all? And
yeah, do you know, I went to something. My local council held like a civic reception for me yesterday, and I sat there in the room, and those like council bigwigs were there, and they were like couldn't wait to meet me, and they built like a little montage for me, a big massive like overhead projector screen, and they were kind of like showing clips of my fights and like the whole Olympics in general as well. And it wasn't until, again, it's not until you talk to other people and how it touched their lives, and them saying their kids are running around punching each other pretending to be me, and they're like running around jumping over things trying to pretend to be like Greg Rutherford. It's not until like you see how it's touched other people's lives that you realise how big of a deal it was. So that kind of like, really hyped me up again. I was really pumped after going to that little civic thing yesterday.
Apart from getting your medal, is there one sort of thing that stands out in your mind about the overall experience of being in London for the Olympics?
Just like, do you know, the whole thing, like there'll be so many different little individual things I could point out. The whole thing just stands out. I remember getting down to the village, and we had like really 2 hot days at the end of July, 2 or 3 really hot days, and I felt like we were in Magic Land. Everything was like the whole village was brand new, really clean. Like everybody was so nice and excited. Everyone had the same sense of buzz and excitement, and that was just kind of set the games off for me really, because I thought, this is going to be really special.
Okay, right. Our first question has come in. It's from Dubstep1988. Obviously, Twitter handle, I assume. If you were to turn pro tomorrow, are there any bad amateur boxing habits you'd have to get rid of? Yeah,
I think there's 2 different games really. They're 2 different sports completely. I'd want to kind of go back to the draw, because I've adapted my style to be successful as an amateur, and obviously you can't go in. It's like in football. You can't. A goalkeeper couldn't come out. He trained to being a goalkeeper. He couldn't come out and play right wing. So you learn to be good at what you have to do to score those points, and I have to kind of go back to the drawing board and reanalyze like my whole game and change it, and not obviously keep the things which I'm good at, but just kind of learn new things and just learn a new mentality. So I think there's definitely things I'd want to eradicate from a game, but there's some good things I want to keep as well.
They're going to make changes to the amateur game though, one of them being that the head guards are going to be removed. What do you think about that?
I think, I'm not too keen on that, I think it's nice to have 2. They're trying to kind of ingrain it all like a lot closer, and I think, personally, being like a bit of a traditionalist, I like the amateur boxing, I like pro boxing, I like how they're quite similar, but they've got their differences as well, and I think the head guard for me kind of head guard and the vest sets it aside, and I just think, and plus when you're boxing like 4, 5, 6 times in the space of a week, headbutts, elbows, you can get like cuts for no fault of your own, and head guards a good way at like stopping them. So I don't know. I'd rather have the head guards, but just because it differentiates between the 2 codes.
Also, without the head guards, surely you'd have to scale back on how many fights amateurs are having, because as you say, you can't be.
Yeah, of course, and you're going to get headbutted, you're going to get clashes, you're going to get cuts and grazes. So you're going to be boxing less times in a year. So that might have a correlation to how much you're going to progress and improve as a fighter. So yeah, I don't know. I can see why they're doing it, but personally, I'd rather keep the 2 sports separate.
Okay, our next question's coming from Joe Tweeds. If you do turn pro, what would your entrance music be?
That's a toughie, I like I like a few songs. The Out Here Brothers have got Boom Boom Boom. I like that song. I like that song. That's like just quite explosive. Gets to the point really quick, and it's I'd like something which like the whole crowd can kind of get behind and chant, and when I hear it, that's fight time. But I'm open to suggestions. If anyone's got any good ideas, there's another song, We're Going to Ogogo from Smokey Robinson. That's an old song. I've had that once or twice as an amateur, and that's quite nice, but it's not. I think that lacks that punch, that drive, and get everybody involved. So I'm open to suggestions at the minute.
Is that the main thing for you, just getting the crowd really into what you're doing? Obviously they were at the Olympics, but maybe as a pro it might be a little bit different.
Definitely, the Olympic Games, anybody who's at the XL, they're just, the atmosphere was phenomenal. Every single person in that crowd wanted you to win, solely because you were British. You didn't have to be a nice guy. You didn't have to have like charisma or anything. They just wanted you to win because you're British. And obviously, if I decide to turn pro, that'll be the crowd will be split. It's not all. It's never going to be 100% for you again. So it's good to kind of, and I love getting the crowd excited. I feed off them, and I think I'm like a little bit of a showman. And like the worst thing for me to go and box into like in an empty arena with like 65 people there, and like some people are reading the paper, or texting. I like the atmosphere. I like kind of the big occasion, and and I think the song, the entrance music, can really go some to pump them up.
Okay. The next question we've got is from Kate Tanya. I'm guessing that's Kate and Tanya. Hi Anthony, we're big fans. When was the last time you watched yourself on YouTube?
Boxing. I'm assuming they mean boxing.
I hope so, yeah.
I think that's a while. It's been a while. I don't really like watching myself because I get more nervous watching myself back. I think, what am I doing? You've got no control when you're watching it back. You've got no control when you're in the ring. Obviously, you've got control over what you're doing, and you do what you want to do. But when you're watching it back, you're just thinking, I just sit there and cringe and why'd you get hit with that shot, or what. So I don't like to watch myself that often. I like to watch myself afterwards and think where I can improve and go into the gym and work on the things I need to improve on. But I'll never ever sit there and watch myself and watch myself in awe and think, how good. I'm too critical to sit and watch myself and think, that's really good.
Okay. Next question is from Laura Oakley, 81. Laura would like to know, first of all, will you be her boyfriend?
I've got a girlfriend, Laura, so apologies on that front.
that's
but thanks anyway. Thank you.
In all seriousness though, which boxer, past or present, would you love to fight?
Love to fight. I'd want to fight somebody like obviously really good to like I said, like massive excitement. But again, I don't want to fight anybody too good to want to win. I'd love to fight. I met Sugar Leonard recently, and he's been like my hero is Muhammad Ali. He's like my ultimate boxing hero, but Leonard more so because he's more close to my weight, and that's the style I'd love to kind of replicate. And I met him recently, and he's the nicest man. I couldn't believe how nice he was. So genuine, so he gave me so much of his time, and I'd love to fight him because I think the welterweight, middleweight, that kind of weight, he was like probably the best ever. Sugar Robinson was like before my time. I've seen all of the footage, but I've watched all his fights. Leonard, I'd love to have fought him, but preferably when he was getting older a bit. So he wasn't as good then, but it'd still be one tough fight.
What was it about Leonard overall that sort of caught your eye? Was it just the showmanship or the skills?
He had it all. He was inside the ring. He had it all. The showmanship. Like the razzmatazz, the excitement he brought to the ring. But like his speed, his hand speed, his foot speed, like in the Olympics, that flurry of punches he threw against the Russian, I think, or the Pole, and that was just like, still now to this day, I sit and watch. I'm completely in awe by that. He's just very much the man, but also he's very determined. He worked hard, and he was, he particularly in the fight with Hagler, he had all that time off. He came back and he beat him, and that takes proper strength of character to do that. So completely in awe of that guy.
Okay. Next question's from Haswell, 1971. Anthony, as you know, boxing's a tough, hard sport. You probably know that better than anyone. Shouldn't you turn pro now, make your money and get out?
Yeah, no, possibly. That's definitely one way of looking at it. Obviously, I know boxing is a sport, it's a business as well. People, you need to earn your money, earn a living from it. But I'm very much like money. I believe if you're good enough, money will come. I've always been in the game to kind of leave a legacy and to become the best, really, and that's either obviously Olympic medals or world title belts. I'd rather win a stack load of world title belts and have and be comfortable than maybe not win a world title belt but earn myself millions in the bank. So I'm more for the prestige than the money. So there's a sense of like turning pro now, getting in, doing well and getting out, but I don't want to kind of get in and get out. I don't want to dip. I don't want to play at it. I don't want to like fool the fans or fool the punters, because obviously boxing boxing fans are very like knowledgeable people. I want to kind of go in there and give myself a good 10-year career, have some massive fights, bring some massive fights to England, and hopefully kind of captivate the imagination of the public, like similar to what like Ricky Hatton did.
Joe Tweeds is back with another question. First of all, who was your boxing idol growing up, and will you box in Rio?
I am a boxing idol, Muhammad Ali. He was, probably more for what he did outside the ring. Kind of just, he really inspired me. He was that was the first boxing video I ever bought, and I sat and watched it over and over again. I'd finish it, I'd get my the VCR, and I'd rewind it back to the beginning, and I'd watch it again. He was obviously the man. And well, boxing Rio again, I don't know if I'm going to box in Rio or not. I really genuinely haven't. The Olympic Games, they're 4 years away, and the Olympics have only finished 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago. So, and in that time I've been busy doing other things, so I haven't really had that time just to kind of sit and think what I want to do, or what's going to be good for myself and my future, my family's future. So I don't know, and if it was just a case of boxing in Rio Olympic Games and they were next year, the answer would be yes, because the Olympic Games were so good, but it's a long wait and there's no guarantees. I very nearly missed out because of a major injury I had to my shoulder in 2011. I very nearly missed out on these Olympics, so it's nothing's set in stone. So you never know what's going to happen. So I really can't answer that question. I'm very I'm undecided at the moment.
I know you can't reveal too much, but have you had any promoters knocking at your door?
No, I'm not. I've spoken to people. I've spoken to people. I think that's not a secret. Rob McCracken, our performance director and head coach in Sheffield, he's such a good man. He knows boxing inside out, amateur and professional. And what I can say, the Team GB, they want what's best for us and the boxers. So if I was going to say to Rob and say, look, I've been offered this to turn pro, and this is really good for me, he wouldn't stand in my way. And if he genuinely thought that was a good deal for me, he'd say, yeah, go for it, and he'd give me his full support. So. I think me and some of the other boxers as well. We've been approached by people and we've spoke to people and we're kind of assessing what our future is. But then also I need to get back to Sheffield and sit down and speak to the GB hierarchy and see what offers on the table to stay amateur as well. So I'm definitely speaking to everybody at the moment and just kind of need a time to kind of make my decision.
Okay. Kizza says you've said you've taken a bit of time out from training after the Olympics. Are you back training now? And if so, do you ease yourself into it or go hard from day one? I'm just coming back from an injury and I'm not too sure how to get back into gym work.
Yeah, Kizza, that's a good question though, because in proper Anthony Ogogo fashion, I'd just fly myself back into it. I'm no good at I don't like not being good at stuff. So I'd go back, I'd do the same runs I was just before the Olympic Games when I was obviously at the fittest I've ever been. I'll do the same gym sessions, and obviously the following day I'll be reeling from it because obviously I've had so long off. So what I'd say ease your way back into it, particularly if you're recovering from an injury, because you don't want to exacerbate it or make it worse. So I'd say ease your way back into it, but it's all well and good me saying that, but I'm like Kizzy, I'd want to kind of get back in there and go full throttle. So you got to kind of play it by ear, but I'm getting back into things now. I'm trying to ease my way back into it. I've stayed active and I've played football, I've played rugby, I've played basketball, I've done other things, just not boxing training because obviously I'm a sport fanatic. So it's been a nice time for me to kind of do different things. Okay.
Lisa Belly has got two questions for you. How has the Olympics changed your life, and is your mum proud of your achievements?
The Olympics have been, has it changed my life? It's funny because a lot more people are aware of what I do. Really, it's not really. I haven't gone from being, a small town kid who to being some big massive superstar. It's not like that at all. And I'm the last person to say that that's what I am, because I'm far from that. But it's just been when I go home now, more people want to kind of stop me and talk about the Olympic Games. More people are aware of what I do, and it's just it's been thrust upon the whole nation. So a lot of people are kind of interested because the Olympics was such a success over here, and that's testament to the British public and the people who put the event on. So it hasn't changed my life that much really. I'm still me. I still wake up in the morning and like I said, go down to the gym or spend time with my family, my girlfriend, my friends. So has it changed that much? My mum, she's that's one of the proudest things for me I've done. My mum's really proud of my achievements, and my whole family and my sisters as well. They were loving. My sisters were probably on TV more than me during the Olympic Games. They're the local TV stations around. And when like the news people came around, they were always on TV every night. So they probably got more airtime than me, which I'm not too happy about. But no, they're all really proud, and I'm happy to say that.
Some of our viewers may not know this, but your mum was really ill before the Olympics. Yeah. How is she doing now?
Really well, thank you. Really well. She was very ill, was very seriously ill just before the Olympic Games, and that was really upsetting, like heartbreaking for me, because I was like meant to go off and train for Olympic Games, and my mum was hanging in the balance really, and that's a really horrible time in my life. And but she's doing really well. She's an absolute warrior, my mum, for a super woman, and she's doing really well. So she's back at home now. She's out of hospital. She was in there for like 3 months, so she's back at home now, and she's doing really well. I'm really proud of her.
That's great news. So you're sort of looking after your mum from as much as you can.
That's what I'm doing now. I'm waking up in the mornings and spending time with my family and my mum and my sisters, and my sisters have got some beautiful little nephews and nieces. So it's nice to kind of spend time with them and just be be part of the family again, because amateur boxing is great, it's brilliant, but elite sport, it takes you around the world a lot, and that is brilliant. You get to see all different parts of the world you'd never go to, but also on the flip side, you don't spend a lot of time at home with your family. So I'm enjoying this time now, and I'm really enjoying it.
Okay. Next question's from Chris. Some people keep Oscars in their bathroom. Where do you keep your bronze medal?
Most of the time it's in my pocket. I haven't got it with me today, but like I said, it's probably the first time I've been out and I haven't had it with me. But I haven't had the case yet. I haven't had the. We were given obviously presentation cases to put the medal in, and I haven't got mine yet. So at the minute it's very much either around my neck or in my pocket. I went to do an interview recently, and I didn't want to drive, so I was getting a bit lazy, so I cycled down there, and I was about half an hour away. I had no zips on my pockets, so I thought I can't really risk dropping it, because obviously that I'll lose it. So I just walked literally around my neck, cycling to this interview I was going to. So that was quite funny. People were driving past, and I did put it inside my jacket, but as I was standing up and putting up the hill, it kind of came out, and I couldn't really have time to stop and put it in. And people were driving past, looking at me, thinking he's either really showing off or he's an odd guy. So a little bit of both, maybe, I think.
So have you dropped it yet?
I've dropped it a couple of times, and apparently they crack and smash, and if they smash, you don't get another one, because they are quite big and heavy. And I've dropped it a few times. It's been one of those moments, like when you I don't know if you ever nearly dropped your phone down the toilet. I'll text in and go into the toilet whilst you're texting, and you fumble it, and it's that feels last about 10 minutes, and then it drops, and doesn't quite go in the bowl, which is always a happy moment. I've done that a few times, but I'm learning to kind of keep it firmly in my grasp now.
Next question's from Coach Kev Campion. What in your mind are the pros and cons of being an amateur or professional?
And the pros of being an amateur are, if an elite amateur on the GB squad, I can't talk about the GB team hardly enough. They're the support you get is amazing. The facilities in Sheffield are brilliant. All the sports science, sport nutrition, the physio, that's all there. In one place. It's brilliant. I can't talk about it hardly enough. And the coaching is brilliant. They've got some full-time coaches up there who want you to win and they believe in you. So that's amazing. And it's a great lifestyle. You travel around the world. Don't always go to the best places, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, places like that aren't the nicest places in the world. But you travel the world, and I wouldn't have been. The first time I got an airplane, that was competing for England. So I wouldn't have travelled to hardly any place if it wasn't for them. The downsides, I think, you kind of very much, because you're part of the team, and it's great to be part of the team, you can't really sometimes express yourself in a way you would normally want to, or it would come natural to you, because obviously you got to think, oh, hang on, you're representing, Team GB and GB Boxing as well, not just yourself. So sometimes, if you're on Twitter, you want to say something quite outlandish, you think, oh, hang on, count to 10, and think that's probably not the best idea. That's probably it, really. I really do enjoy being an amateur. It's brilliant. And the other downside as well, there's so much impetus on the Olympic Games, and I don't think there's not enough on the other competitions as well. And the Olympics come around every 4 years, and it's brilliant because it makes Olympics amazing. But it's a long time to wait, and there's World Championships and Europeans in between, but it doesn't get the same attention I don't think it doesn't get as much attention from the outside world as arguably they should. So that's the only downside really, and obviously pro boxing is brilliant because obviously you represent yourself. But I don't really know much about, but I obviously know about pro boxing. Because I've never done it, I haven't lived it. I can't really speak about that one.
Okay, Bad Boy Tommy would like to know what you think of Ricky Hatton coming back.
I think that's brilliant. You know, I think, like I said earlier, he's captivated like the British public like no boxer has, you know, before or since. And I look up to that, and I'd love to kind of replicate what he did. What a man, what a fighter, and I think it's brilliant. I know he had his troubles, you know, a couple of years ago in the last 18 months, and listen to his press conferences. He wants to redeem himself, and I think, you know, what a man for wanting to come back. I'm sure he's got money in the bank. He doesn't need it for like financial reasons. He wants to come back just to prove to himself and his family and the British public, you know, he's still got it, and he's still an amazing fighter. So I can't wait, you know, November the 24th. I can't wait to see him. It's my birthday as well, so see if I can get someone to buy me a ticket for my birthday and go up and watch, because I think he's a brilliant fighter.
Obviously, in between fights, Ricky's weight balloons. As a boxer yourself, is it quite easy to just think when you're out of training, oh, I'm going to eat this, I'm going to eat that?
When you're so, you know, when boxing, because boxing it's not just like a job or a sport. I think it's like a lifestyle. Like a lot of other sports, other sports you can train hard. But when you go home, you can eat what you want, you can do what you want. Boxing, you can't do that. You're always kind of governed by, you know, your weight, so you can't eat what you want. So you have to be so strict and disciplined. That's why I see people balloon afterwards, because it's like a release. I think it's important to I was speaking to Ricky recently actually, and he said he wished he didn't kind of balloon as much, because it does take its toll on the body, and I'm sure there's not many things he'd do differently. Like I said, he's been the most loved British boxer, you know, in years, and he's earned loads of money. He's become an absolute superstar, and you know, around the world. So he probably wouldn't do many things differently. But I think personally, kind of living a bit better in between fights is important, and that can add like longevity to your career. And the last couple of years in your career are the ones where potentially, you know, you're going to earn like big money and have big fights. So they're the ones you want to look after. So I think it is easy to kind of let yourself go, but that's what boxing's all about. It's about discipline and sacrifice, and you know, give yourself like a 10-year period. After 10 years, you know, you can do what you want. But in those 10 years, you know, you've got to, for like 90% of the time, you've got to do the right thing.
Okay. AD back. This is our last question. Wants to know, how much stick did you get from your fellow Team GB boxers when you did the Subway advert?
Oh, AD? Yeah, a bit. No, not actually. I think that was quite like, as in jest. Now that's quite funny. That was in jest, and that was. I think they all kind of got it. You know, obviously like the boxers, then they know me really well. And I'm a really light-hearted guy. I like to be kind of like centre of attention. I like to be kind of in the joke, you know. I like to kind of be like amongst it all. One of the lads with all the boys on the squad. So yeah, they kind of like, you know, kind of took the mick a bit, and I kind of gave it back. But that's what, like, when you travel the world like we do together, you need things to kind of like lighten the mood. And when you're training hard and you got fights coming up and you're sparring, little things like that are good to kind of lighten the mood. And even the coaches got involved as well and kind of give me a bit of stick. So that was nice. That's funny. I got a bit of stick, but that was worthwhile. That was good.
Just quickly though, when you walk into your local Subway, have they got your sandwich ready?
Do you know what? They're really good. What Subway did as a treat for me, as a congratulations, they sent me like the biggest array of subs recently. Literally, that was like 2 massive plates full of subs, all different stuff. So I got all my family, my friends around. We had like a Subway day, like pig out. So that was good. They look after me. That's very appreciative of them.
Brilliant. Anthony,
thanks
for
you.
your time, mate.
Thanks, mate.
All the best for the
Appreciate that.
future.